Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike the Intern, Ned Reynolds, back in the studio on a Thursday morning. So yesterday, the Kansas City Chiefs, of course, got back on the practice field and had some conferences with, of course, Coach Andy Reid, also Patrick Mahomes. Everyone's just watching video of him walking up to the podium and jogging at practice. My question to you, sir, if this had happened, let's say, in week 3, you think he'd take a week off?
Yes. I absolutely think they would have said, hey, Patrick, got a long season to go. No reason to risk any further injury. Of course, that doesn't exist now. It's win or go home. So from that aspect, yes, I think they would have put him aside for he would have raised hell if that had been the case. But, hey, you've got to go with the flow, so to speak. He's feeling probably pretty good right now because it is, it wouldn't be 6 days. It'd be about 4 days, 5 days.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 or 5.
So the injury has had a chance to have blood flow through it now, and probably he's feeling a little bit less discomfort. And certainly when he moves, that's going to be the case. It's the after effects, and if he does any further, and he isn't going to damage it any further, he'll irritate it. That's a given. But how much remains to be seen, and the Chiefs and the trainers and doctors seem to feel it's fine for him to go out there. Now, I doubt very much that he goes through. The Chiefs have an interesting way of, and all NFL teams do, if your full workout doesn't necessarily mean you've gone through every single play in practice. It means you're there, and you're taking some snaps and so forth and so on. But I doubt very much that he goes through anything that's full scale until Sunday. Then he will go through things that are full scale. But he'll be fine if they give him protection, and I know they will. Was it Orlando Brown says we're going to play a whole lot harder now?
They're going to have to. Him and Creed, they're all going to have to just make sure and that's what Creed had said in the press conference last weekend, which was, look, we don't want him scrambling anyway. So whether he's 100% or he's injured, the mission's still the same. He needs protection. He needs to have time in that pocket, and that's what we're going to have to do. I think we're going to see him get the ball out pretty quick, though. Also, big congratulations to him. Yesterday, announced second-time MVP.
That's pretty good. That is, in fact, it's better than pretty good. It is outstanding.
I mean, let's go.
He's the of the quarterbacks in the NFL in the playoffs. He's the oldest one at what, 27?
20. Dude, the changing of the guard in the quarterback situation in the NFL right now is just unbelievably good. It really is. We're living in a good time if you're a football fan and you like exciting stuff, but that's exactly what they're kind of training us to do.
And it really doesn't surprise me. He should be the MVP.
Oh, absolutely, hands down. So even though everyone's poo-pooing on the Chiefs going into the AFC Championship game this weekend, hopefully they underestimate us and we can go out and slap them in the face. Well, I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Well, I've maintained all along, I think, the best team in the NFL. And this is the NFL, not just the AFC or NFC. They're the best team. And if they play right and everything goes right for them, I think they get the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl.
So D's going to have to play out on Sunday. All right, let's talk about the weather conditions. Of course, it's going to be cold in Kansas City and probably going to have a little snow on the ground, too.
I think amended that a little bit. The snow may be on the ground, but I don't think there'll be anything in the air. I don't think it's going to be relatively dry, but it will be cold. Temperatures dropping down, they said, to about 12, and this game's at night. This is not a day game at all, so it'll be in the lower teens and maybe bordering on getting into single digits. That's cold. How that affects his injury or any injury, not just his, then this is a concussive game. You're going to get a lot of blows in there. They'll sting a little bit more. But think of what's in store for you. A trip to the Super Bowl, hey, that adrenaline will really be flowing.
Amen, brother. How's Philly looking weather-wise?
They are much better. Also dry, and this is a day game in Philadelphia. I think it starts East Coast time, is probably about 3 o'clock, somewhere around there, which is late afternoon. Still, we're on standard time. But it's going to be in the low 50s, and they'll be dry, and that's perfect. It's usually in the low 50s in San Francisco, too, so it won't be that much of a difference.
It's hard to think about weather like that when you go outside here, but also it's hard to think of the fact that there is actually a pro golf tournament going on right now, isn't there?
There is indeed. Out at La Jolla, this is Torrey Pines, and you're wondering, well, wait a minute, when the tournaments start on Thursday. They do, for the most part, but not this week. The tournament don't think that any of the pro sports folks don't realize what's going on elsewhere on the sports world. They're not particularly focused on just theirs. And pro golf knew that if this was a 4-day tournament starting on Thursday, they're going to butt heads with the NFL on Sunday. Niet, we're not going to do that. We'll start this tournament on Wednesday. So they did. They got off to a start yesterday at Torrey Pines, which is a great course. It's one that Tiger Woods won a whole lot of tournaments right on the coast at La Jolla, which is part of San Diego. And that competition goes on, but the championship is Saturday and not Sunday.
Some big area college basketball games are on the court tonight. When and where?
We have one in Springfield and two in Bolivar. The one in Springfield, of course, is the Missouri State Lady Bears. They'll tip it off at 6 o'clock over at the Great Southern Bank Arena. And the Lady Bears are facing one of the tough teams in the Missouri Valley Conference, University of Northern Iowa, and they traditionally, almost annually, have a really, really great team, and they do this year. They're 7-1 coming into Springfield. Lady Bears are a good team, folks, very good team, and this is a big challenge. Games this year are starting at 6, and tonight's game is no exception. The Bears and the Northern Iowa Lady Panthers will start at 6 o'clock, and that's Great Southern Bank Arena. Up in Bolivar, Southwest Baptist is hosting the doubleheader. And I say hosting the doubleheader because in the Great Lakes Valley Conference, they play doubleheaders. Ladies play first, men play second. And who is SBU hosting tonight? How about the Drury Lady Panthers? All they are, folks, is number 2 in America in NCAA Division II. They are 19-1 on the year. They have a terrific team. That's the Lady Panthers, and they will play Southwest Baptist at 5:30 tonight. Second game will be at 7:30, and that's the Bearcats versus the Panthers. Drury's been a little down this year. Southwest Baptist is having a fair season. That'll be a pretty good little matchup, but that's going on, and that will be tonight. That's a doubleheader night. Plus, there's college basketball all across the country, but we're looking at the local games.
Right now, we're sitting at the last week and a half of January, which means college baseball is going to start gearing up here before you know it.
You aren't wrong. And as a matter of fact, this weekend is the last weekend in January. And when you get to February, those of us who tend to look ahead say, hey, February, we are getting close to baseball. Well, folks, we literally are. Drury will be the first one to open. Division II teams are allowed to play on February 11th. They can open up on that day, and Drury will take advantage of it. They'll have a 3-game series in Memphis against Christian Brothers College down there, and that's a pretty good competition. Drury and Christian Brothers on February 11th. Division I schools like Missouri State can't open until the following weekend. So the Bears will be opening up on February 17th, and they'll open up at night, not here, in San Luis Obispo, California. The Bears will be playing Cal Poly, and it goes by its acronym SLO, San Luis Obispo, but most folks refer to it as Cal Poly. Not a headline team here in the middle part of the country, nor the East, but a very, very good baseball program playing the Big West Conference. Bears played them last year, supposed to have played them here, but it got weathered out, and they moved the games to Dallas, the Dallas area, and played on the field down there. And Cal Poly won 2 out of the 3 from the Bears. It's a good program. People are not familiar with it, but I'll tell you who played there at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, a name that you would recognize, and most fans would. How about the Oz?
Oh, really?
Ozzie Smith
that was
played
his
there.
college? That's cool.
It was, and they put several players in Major League Baseball. So it's a good program, a very good program. That's who the Bears open up with on the road in California, and hopefully they won't see snow.
Well, and that'll give us a good idea of what that team's going to look like at least early on.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a good test early on, and we'll get to see what we got. All right. Now we talked about the local college basketball games. Let's talk about some of the majors that are happening tonight.
There are some very big games on the calendar, including number 1. Purdue is playing tonight, and they're playing Michigan. Purdue is the Associated Press number 1 team in America. That will be a big challenge. Number 2 played last night. Now, number 2 is the University of Alabama, and they had a dogfight. Just did get by Mississippi State 66-63. Number 3 is Houston. They had been number 1. Houston went down to Florida, played Central Florida, and pretty much handled them 82-71. And some interesting games in the Missouri Valley, including Bradley, Illinois State. Bradley won it by 4, 79-75. Northern Iowa, Valparaiso. You knew Northern Iowa would probably win that game, which they did, 77-66. And Belmont, which is along with Murray State, the new teams, and Illinois Chicago, new teams in the Missouri Valley. Belmont defeated Evansville 73-64. So big games last night, big games coming up tonight.
Ned, you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow, man.